Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 24 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day to get what we want. Today we're talking about goal framework number 15. I've been sharing for a couple weeks now different ways of setting goals, achieving goals. And this one, today's, is what I call pre-gaming. It's getting ready before you set goals. It's called balanced scorecard. Now, in corporate America, I did a lot of this. We did a lot of budgeting, balanced scorecard, measurement, and things. But basically, this suggests you do 4 things before you even think about setting your goals. Now, it's mostly a business-related thing, but guess what? It's really, really powerful in our personal lives as well. I use these tools in every area and aspect of my life, not just in my financial or my business or my career type goals and objectives. So what are these 4 steps? Number 1, one of my favorite tools I learned in college is called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, and it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, this is easy to understand when you're building and growing a business, or when you have a business, or when you're at work in your career or your job. You can think about what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the things that they tell you you should work on because you annoy the heck out of other people. What are your opportunities? Do you have opportunities to get what you want, to create what you want, to create the life you want in that particular position? Or do you need to think about yourself and maybe think outside the box of that particular role, what you want to do next? What are your opportunities? What are possible opportunities? And then what are threats to your position? COVID pandemic was a threat that a lot of people didn't consider, and it impacted literally hundreds of millions of people, right? It impacted the whole planet. And I don't know that there's been very many things, none in my lifetime except this, and I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Achoo! Achoo! Double sneeze. Ooh, one more and I could make a wish. Anyway, SWOT analysis, step 1. Think about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Like I said, I've used this tool literally thousands, if not 10,000 times in my life, in my career, in my coaching, in my consulting, etc. Awesome tool. It's a great framework because it's simple. It's a framework within a framework. Step 2, evaluate last year's goals. Now, if you didn't set last year's goals, just think about how last year went for you. Did it turn out? Did you achieve? Did you do? Did you have? Did you get? Did you experience the things you wanted to last year? And if you did set goals, did you make those goals? Did you achieve those goals? Where did you fall short? What are some of the lessons that you learned from last year's goal setting session? Now, if you've never, like I said, if you've never set goals before, this is your baseline and this will be your first year. Number 3, check upon your resources. What do you have? One of the most valuable things we can do for ourselves is to sit down and make a skills inventory, a stories inventory, an experience inventory, and just make lists of these things. Resources, literally physical resources. What do you have at your hand? Do you have a house? Do you have a car? Do you have clothes, right? Do you have food? Do you have income coming in, etc.? What are all of the resources at your fingertips? And then keep in mind that our relationships are also resources. We have people in our lives who are connected to other people that can help us to be, do, have, and get what we want. Not that we're using those people, but they are resources. And then finally, number 4, let other people know your goals. After you set your goals, decide, I say very judiciously, who you're going to share those goals with. Only share them with people that are going to support and help you to achieve those goals. The last thing we need are more naysayers. Believe me, you'll run across plenty of them along the way to achieving any goal that you have set for yourself. So don't go looking for them, because all that does is make us more resistant. Sometimes it makes us stronger, but most of the time it chips away at us until we, acquiesce and do what other people are doing. And we don't want to do that. We want to be ourselves. So 4 steps. What are we going to do today? What's our action item? What do you think it's going to be? It is going to be to do these 4 steps before we set goals, right? I know it seems like, oh my God, we're not doing hardly anything. And it's as painful for me as for anybody that might be feeling that way. I am a massive action taker. I have to be moving all the time. And so to break things down into teeny bite-sized pieces, some days is more painful than if I were just to jump in and do something. But I learned through lots of trial and error that sometimes if I just jump in and do something, I don't get the result I want. If I would have just stepped back and said, well, what would be the best way for me to personally handle this situation? Sometimes it's only 30 seconds that it takes to step back and consider what are the possible results of me taking this immediate action. So I know it feels like we're dragging it out, but we're not. We are setting the foundation for a lot of different areas and aspects of your life, not just the area of goals. So, balanced scorecard, you may have, like me, literally decades of experience with this particular tool. I don't know if a balanced scorecard is a tool. It's usually just a one-pager we have in corporate America where we have all of our goals and objectives, and we check in with them every week at our weekly meetings or monthly, whatever makes sense for you. So, SWOT analysis. Last year's goals, lessons learned. 3, check up on your resources. If you've never done this list, it's amazing. And it also helps us with gratitude by thinking of all the things we have, resources and all the links and connections we have in different resource areas of our life, or possible potential resource areas of our life. It really builds our confidence and helps us to go for what it is that we want, because we have a lot more resources than we ever think that we do. And that's why writing them down really helps. And then other people know your goals. Just maybe think about today, who might you have as a resource on your side to help you achieve whatever goals you set for yourself? Maybe just write them down today. Share in the comments below, done, because it's a lot, so I don't expect you to share, unless you want to share a lesson learned or something. If you've never done this particular exercise, what you learned, what was valuable, what wasn't, etc. All right, any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.